Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Supervisor Fountain?
Here.
Treasurer Horning?
Here.
Clerk Chofiu here. Trustee Collier?
Here.
Trustee Germain? Absent. Trustee Harper?
Here.
Trustee Petrucci? Absent.
Thank you. Item number 4 is our meeting agenda.
So, second?
Support. So moved. Support. Okay.
Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Treasurer Horning. Is there any discussion on the meeting agenda? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number 5 is call to the public. Call to the public this evening. Good evening. State your name and your address, please.
David Bear, 4404 Stunning Lake Drive, Hartland, Michigan.
Thank you.
You bet. Dear board members, my name is David Bear. I've been a resident here for over 30 years. I'm here tonight to share with you an unfortunate situation I had last week with township employee Troy Langer. As most of you know, I've been a realtor here for over 30 years, and my son Jake and I bought a piece of vacant land from the Fellowship Bible Church this summer. We bought it on a land contract. Land contract is where the seller holds the deed. There's a document, land contract, that's created that has the terms and conditions, and in the land contract, you can put anything you basically want. The one thing you cannot do is charge more than 11% interest. But in that document, it could cover more than one properties. It could cover scenarios. There could be all sorts of things in that land contract. It's not just a vanilla item. So because of that, when you buy something on a land contract, to show your interest, you record what's called a memorandum of land contract. So that's what's recorded at the county. That's what the assessor sees, that, hey, there's something going on here, a sale of some sort. They've recorded a memorandum. At that point in time, a property transfer affidavit is required to be filed by the person who bought the property under the land contract, which we did. We filed it. We recorded the memorandum because what's in the land contract is private. That's between me, the buyer, and the seller. We both have copies. It doesn't have to ever see the light of day. Nobody has the right to look at it, period. That being said, we closed on the property, bought it on land contract, recorded the memorandum, filed the property transfer affidavit. Then we approached the township for a split application. We came in, we filled out the application, we worked with the assessor, we worked with the zoning administrator, Troy. We accomplished all the tasks of the process. Our split was approved. We were assigned new tax codes. Now we have 2 separate parcels. Part of that application required surveys, copies of the deed holder, which was Fellowship Bible Church, a letter from the deed holder allowing us to pursue. Everything was done and accounted for. The split was approved. Immediately after we went to a land use application, more additional information was required. Immediately provided all that additional information. Never during this entire process was something ever asked for of me that was not immediately provided. I was 100% in compliance with the submittal. I've been doing this for a long time. I got a pretty good concept of what to do. I submitted it, and after 48 hours, I called. It was Thursday last week. Spoke to Carol, just in the hopes that it might be ready to be issued, so I could work with the building department on Friday. The township hall is closed Thursday. So, hey, maybe they're done. Carol said it is off her desk. There were no questions or concerns. She had submitted it to the director, which I find out is Troy. So I figured, okay, fine, I'll just check back later in the day. It opened at 6:30 on Thursday. About 2:30, I checked my email, and here's what I found. This is from Carl Davis, Financial Secretary, Fellowship Bible Church. Hi, Troy. The land closing package is attached. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call or email me. This was at 1:51 on Thursday. Nobody at the township ever asked me a question. They didn't ask Carl a question. They said, give me the closing documents and show me the land contract. We want it all. Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, I blew up. I mean, I called Troy up. I said, on no uncertain terms, are you allowed to even request or have that information? It's my private and personal financial documents. Wait a minute, Dave. He hasn't issued these land use permits yet. I said, Troy, I'm not going to have this conversation with you today any further. I don't want to stand in the way of getting my land use permits. He goes, oh, Dave, no problem. They're issued. I said, okay, great. I'll come in and pick those up today, Troy, and we'll have this conversation at another point in time, which is tonight. Consequences. Can you imagine if there was a land contract between Dan Gigler, one of the largest landholders in Hartland Township, and Pulte Homes that covered multiple land parcels and multiple scenarios, and Troy got his hands on that? Can you imagine? It wouldn't be Dave Bear here to call the public. He'd have freaking lawyers circling the building. Lawyers everywhere. I believe he...
It's not true.
I believe he went fishing. He obtained private and confidential material in an unauthorized manner, far exceeding the scope of his job description. He trampled on what I believe are my constitutional rights to privacy. He destroyed the trust of the community that he is supposed to serve. Never asked one question of either one of us went fishing. Finally, the questions of why. I don't care why. This whole thing is wrong, wrong, wrong. We've all raised our kids in this community. We all know and have watched them through high end, so on and so forth. We've all watched if we try to teach our children right from wrong. If any of our grown children had been in that position and treated any resident of this community the way I was treated, you know there'd be repercussions at the dinner table. This is what happened. You are the people in a position to address it, and I know that you will. My request is that he immediately terminated with cause. At least a minimum 30-day suspension to allow you to investigate any other possible abuses of power. Please have your IT department see if they can somehow permanently delete my personal and private financial records from your server. They say that this cannot be done. It probably can't. But I would really appreciate it if you gave it an effort. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we will take it under advisement. Item number 6 is approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by trustee Harper, second by clerk Schofu.
I was going to support it myself.
Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have no pending and new business this evening. We'll move on to our board reports. We are in our second meeting in September, and we start with clerk Schofu,
No report.
treasurer Horning.
We went online for tax payments that people could pay online, and we were really excited because we didn't advertise it, and quite a few people used it, and it's working so smoothly, we're probably going to institute it for utility billing very quickly, because it's just really a great program.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Kalani.
I just want to say, I received a call, I don't know how many other board members received a call from a resident who just left angry here. I got an earful on the phone. I tried to ask questions as to what happened. When I started asking questions, I was then suddenly said, can't believe you're even a lawyer. Very upset about the way I was treated. I shouldn't be treated that way. I understand Mr. Bear never bothered to talk to Mr. Wickman, never bothered talking to Troy. He wanted to come here and come to call the public. I'm upset because a couple of things. One, my understanding is that the land contract was with the deed holder. The deed holder was the landowner, and it had to do with most likely, and I have not talked to Troy, to determine whether or not who owned the property and what the status was. Now, there could have been a couple ways to do that. He contacted the property owner, who is currently the property owner, and they sent him a package of documents. Probably not the brightest thing on their part. The issue Mr. Bear has is really with his counterpart to that agreement, not Troy, the counterpart to the agreement. So There isn't, unless he had a non-disclosure agreement with the other party, the fact that Troy was doing his job, and I suspect he was, if he wasn't, I would expect James to tell us he wasn't and take appropriate action. But I don't deserve to be talked to on the phone the way I was. And I'm sad because he left. And I've known Dave for probably 20 years. I know he's a realtor here. And I know he has concerns and he's upset about it. But I could not talk to this person. I could not talk to this person in a logical and rational way. And I think the public who saw that, what just took place, has to know really what the full story is, because that's what happens. We only talk about, well, that's the problem with the media today. We only get one side of the story, and that's not fair. And I just want to go on. Now, if Troy did something wrong, I'm sure James, who's our manager, will take a look at it and report back to the board. And I expect that to happen. If there's something nefarious that went on or what have you. But I think Mr. Bear's actions really go to his other counterpart to that agreement. Because guess what? Look, anybody can ask for information. It's up to the person who has the information to say no. That's really the question. If I ask you for information that's personal and private, you're going to say, I'm not going to give you that information. So I don't know what his thoughts are. I'm still upset about it, and I think it's only fair to really kind of make sure the record is clear. I don't know how many other board members got calls, but I was just, aside I've got other issues going on right now with a lot of different things. This was not something I wanted to hear on a Friday at 5:30 in the evening, and I had to think about all weekend long. So just disappointed. I'm disappointed because I think we all work very hard. I think we look out for everyone in this community. We respect our constituents and our business owners, and I just don't think that was fair at all. So, sorry. That's my point, my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Harper?
I have no report.
And the only thing I'd like to report this evening is that the sidewalk has been started, and I actually saw some concrete that was being poured, it looks like even maybe today. So that project looks like it's going. Was there an estimated time? I know the weather's going to have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the good weather they have. So they wanted to get concrete going, because they were going to take it in sections and take care of the landscaping and just kind of do a section at a time. But because of good weather, they wanted to get going on concrete. So they'll be doing more restoration next week. You'll see a break from the concrete.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll keep going with the forms.
Okay. Very good. That's all I have. If there's nothing else from any other board members, we'll take a brief recess, and then we'll have some discussion.